Backlinks, content. People who have both of them do well when it comes to SEO. Websites who don't have either of them tend not to do well. But does that mean SEO is hopeless if you have a tiny website with no backlinks? Hey everyone, I'm Patel, and today I'm going to share with you how you can do SEO for a tiny website that has no backlinks. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this video. And if you're on YouTube, click the alert icon. That way, when I release more videos and more tips like this, you'll get notified. Before we get into the tips, I want to share a site that you guys should all check out. It's called Backlinko. Backlinko is a marketing blog by a buddy of mine, Brian Dean. He doesn't have a ton of pages. He doesn't have a ton of content. He doesn't spend his time doing manual outreach and link building, yet he dominates his rankings. And he's getting hundreds and thousands of visitors per month. He's not the only example. There's so many more like that all around the web. And there's a secret, there's a strategy to getting a lot of traffic when you don't have a ton of pages. Sure, I'll be honest, you're not gonna get as much traffic compared to a site with a million pages, but that's okay. You can still do extremely well and get hundreds and thousands of visitors per month, even if you only have 20, 30 pages. So let's get into exactly how you do this step by step. The first thing that you need to know is you need some sort of content. You don't need a ton of content, but you need some sort of content. And the content you create needs to hit hard. So before you go out there and write any types of content, what I want you to do is go to Ubersuggest and put in all your competitors' URLs. When you put in your competitors' URLs, you'll see a page. It shows you their traffic. This page shows you all of their top pages. Again, I want you to do this for each of your competitors because this will show you their most popular pages. It'll also show you the keywords each of these pages ranks for. And by doing that, you'll now know not only their top pages, what they're about, but the keywords that they're ranking for. What I want you to do is look at their most popular pages of content, look to see if you have already covered any of those topics. Chances are if you have a tiny website and you don't have any links, you haven't, but just in case, double check them because in that case, you would want to adjust your content. If you haven't, you would want to create new content. And what I want you to do is create more in-depth versions. In essence, all advanced guides or definitive guides or beginner guides, whatever you want to call them. But you'll notice that I'm always using the term guides. You don't have to use the term guides, but when I mean guides, I'm talking about something that's so extensive that everyone's like, oh my God, this is the end all be all. This is all I need to look at. The rest of the stuff in this space is useless. It doesn't matter. So the way you do this is you look at all your other competitors who are ranking, you look at their pages because you saw those URLs in Ubersuggest, you go to those articles, you read them, you make sure your page is 5, 10 times better, more thorough in length. It's not just about putting the keywords in there, it's about thoroughness. I would add in custom images, graphics. You can do this for free using tools like Canva, or if you want to pay someone, you can use Fiverr.com. And then by having that, you're now going to have a detailed guide that's super thorough. And remember, a really important part in doing this is you are looking for the keyword that your competition's ranking for because Ubersuggest shows you all of those keywords. You want to make sure you're integrating the most popular ones that are relevant to the article, more so guide, and including them in your guide. Because if you do that, you're going to outrank other people over time because your content's better, your user metrics will be better. If it's not that great, you're not going to shine because your user metrics won't be as good. And when I'm saying user metrics, I'm talking about time on site, people not bouncing back. And by creating something so amazing, they should want to stick around a lot longer than your competitors' URLs. The second thing I want you to do is invest 50% of your time in promoting your content. Now, I would tell you in most cases to spend 80% of your time promoting content, but when you're creating these detailed guides, they take so much work that you need to spend at least 50%. 80% is probably unrealistic, but 50% should be doable. Again, in Ubersuggest, when you found these URLs, it shows you all the people linking to them. If you aren't able to go back to them, just go to the backlinks report in Ubersuggest, put in the URLs for all your competitors. It'll show you every single person that's linking to their page. When you see the list of links, you can hit them all up and you can email them being like, hey John, I noticed you linked to X, Y, and Z article. I have one that just got published. Mine covers A, B, and C that theirs didn't. You can check it out here. If you like it, feel free and share it. Cheers, Neil. And when you send out enough of these emails, I'm not talking about 10 or 20, I'm talking about 50, 100, 200 over time per guide that you're writing, you'll start getting people to link to you. The same thing goes with promoting. You can use search.twitter.com, put in your competitor URLs. It'll show you every single person who tweeted out your competitor's article. You link to them, you ask them to share it. It's pretty much simple. Most people will not share it, but a large portion will. So overall, you'll start getting the social shares. Those two tactics gets you links and social shares. The third promotion thing that I want you to do is everyone that you link out to in your guide, let them know that you linked out to them, shoot them an email and ask them to share your content. That's another simple way to get more social shares. The third thing you need to do is nurture a following. Have you noticed if you leave a comment on neilpatel.com, I respond. You leave a comment on Facebook, I try to respond. I say try because sometimes there's too many there. YouTube, I try to respond to all of them. By me responding to every single one, I'm nurturing a community. I'm building that loyalty. Now, I may not ask people for anything, but that's helped me over time get more social shares, more backlinks, higher rankings, more brand queries, people typing in my domain name constantly into Google. That helps me boost my rankings as well because Google's looking for brand queries. When you have brand queries and more of them than your competition, it shows Google that people are loyal to your brand over the competitors, hence you should rank higher. So you want to nurture your community. It's not just as simple as throwing up content or putting up good pieces of content and promoting them and be like, that's it. If you don't care for people, you don't go above and beyond to help them out, you're not going to do well in this day and age when it comes to SEO. The fourth thing I want you to do is build a network of content promoters. Remember how I told you to email people to share your content, email people to link back to your content? Well, you're going to start seeing a pattern in which some people are willing to do it and some people aren't. Most of the people aren't, but even the percentage that's willing, once you publish a handful of articles, you'll notice that consistently there's people who don't mind sharing and linking to your content. Now that you got your list of promoters, now you know who to go back to every single time you create a detailed guide. You don't need to create one of these detailed guides each and every single week. Heck, you could do it once a month, sometimes maybe even once every 2 or 3 months. It just has to be super high in quality. That way you can consistently maintain your traffic. Last but not least, use Ubersuggest backlinks. That's that backlinks report in Ubersuggest to identify new link opportunities. Always look at your competitors, their new links, the lost links, ones that they're recently getting. Ubersuggest will show you this in the backlinks report. If someone recently linked to one of your competition, what do you think the chances are of them linking to you? Well, it's much higher than someone who linked to your competitors 5 years ago. When people are linking right now, that means they're open to linking today. When someone linked to other people 5 years ago, they may be done with it. They may not care to link to anyone else or update their site. But when people are continually updating their site, their content, linking to more people, those are the people to target with your outreach campaigns because they're much more likely to link to you. So if you do all of those things, even if you have a tiny site, you don't need to create tons of articles or tons of pages of content. They just need to be super detailed, thorough, and amazing high in quality. You do that, you can get a ton of traffic. I kid you not, over 100,000 visitors a month. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Quality is the key factor to doing well in Google these days. There's over 1 billion blogs. That's roughly 1 blog for every 7 people in this world. Google doesn't need more content. They don't need big sites. They need amazing sites with high quality content to rank. So focus on quality instead of quantity. If you need help with your content marketing, your SEO, check out my ad agency, Neil Patel Digital. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, share this video, leave a comment.